It's the end of an era in Massachusetts and the end of Charlie Baker's last full day as governor. So by this time tomorrow, his successor, Maura Healey, will have officially taken over the corner office. So how will Baker, consistently ranked among the most popular governors in the country, be remembered here in Massachusetts? Well, to answer that question is GBH State House reporter Katie Lannan joining me now. I know that it's a very busy day at the State House, Katie.
Yes, it sure is. Good to be with you, though, Crystal.
Well, let's talk about, Governor Baker's record. 8 years in office. He has consistently been voted one of the most popular governors in the country. What's the feeling like right now as he leaves office?
Yeah, it's definitely a very emotional day. It's kind of a weird time at the State House because even today, as the governor's getting ready to take this emotional, symbolic last walk out, the new legislature has just been sworn in. So there's celebration. There's, the governor has called this bittersweet that he's leaving. He said he's really going to miss the people of Massachusetts and the work they've all done together. And like you said, he's been very popular with voters. He has good relationships with the legislature, even though it's controlled almost entirely by Democrats. So there is, I think, a real sense of an emotional goodbye here today.
And so we know that in his final address, he talked about his achievements. He's talking about the budget. I mean, certainly, the budget has gone from $1 billion deficit to a $5 billion surplus. The state's rainy day fund increased to $7 billion. He actually was able to give taxpayers back some money, which I think surprised a lot of lawmakers. But there were also some big challenges there. The COVID-19 pandemic and all of the things that came with. The MBTA is still a mess, if I can say that. And of course, the R&V scandals. So, I mean, what do you think that Maura Healey and Kim Driscoll are going to be inheriting as you have this sort of dichotomy of achievements and then challenges, right?
Right. So Healey today struck a really optimistic note, saying she sees the state's challenges as opportunities. And certainly there's, transportation is one of the things that I think is going to be at the forefront of her tenure early on, much like it was when Governor Baker came in 2015 and had to deal with the series of snowstorms that left the MBTA unable to function. Maura Healey is coming in at a time where the T is also in turmoil, and she's got a worldwide search already ongoing for the next general manager. So I think we're going to see some focus on the T early on. Probably, she said housing is going to be one of her priorities, and that's definitely an issue that the Governor Baker has tried to address. He's gotten zoning reforms through to take a bite out of that somewhere down the line. Eventually, they don't pay off right away. So one of the things that is interesting, though, is those kind of big issues that face Massachusetts tend to be seen as more intractable. They haven't really taken Governor Baker into lower approval rating territory that these problems persist. He's still viewed as popular as he tries to tackle them, but as residents in Massachusetts still face those challenges in their daily life.
Do you think that as the transition happens, there'll still be that same bipartisan feel? I mean, Charlie Baker was certainly a moderate Republican, one that both sides of the aisle felt like they could work with.
It's interesting, right? We haven't seen what kind of governor yet Maura Healey is going to be. Of course, she's not governor yet, so that's why. But she did stake out that kind of moderate Charlie Baker-like lane while she campaigned. But she also built a reputation as a progressive attorney general over the last 8 years. And Democrats, when they hold a corner office, can have fraught relationships with the Democrats in the legislature as they try to see who really gets to be the one to set the state's agenda. So there have been tense relationships between the Democrats in the legislature and Democratic governors before, whereas, Massachusetts likes to have a Republican in the corner office to serve as kind of that check on the maybe more progressive leanings of the legislature. And Maura Healey could also provide that check if she chooses to stick to that Baker-style image.
And so, you know, in the last 30 seconds now, what do you see as the day one looking like for the Healey administration as Baker, you know, leaves, takes that final walk?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of ceremony first and foremost with her swearing in during the day and a celebration at the TD Garden at night. Maybe we'll see some more cabinet appointments come out from her as she continues building her team and setting up the infrastructure of her administration.
All right, Katie Lannan, thank you so much for your time. I know you've been running around, you've been covering this for a while, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.